Hey, what's up YouTube? loooooong here, host of the Extreme Fillet Fishing channel. Did I just hear something back there? Must be my imagination. Anyways, today is April 14th, 2018, my outing number 41 of this year, and this is episode number 4 of our little trout educational series here, is stocked trout educational series here on the YouTube channel. So if you guys haven't watched the previous episodes, I highly encourage you to, before watching this episode, to go back there, and watch episode 1, 2, and 3, right? But summarizing, brief summary of where we are so far. First video here on the channel, I talked a little bit about gear, setup, and what exactly you need to maximize your chances of catching a stock trout. Then episode number 2, we talked a little bit about philosophy. What is the philosophy behind a catch and take fishery, right? Because these stock trout watersheds all around the country, they are nothing but a catch and take type of fishery. You fish the fish, you catch the fish, and you take it home to eat. Then episode number 3, we talked a little bit about spots and locations. How is it that you find if there are a stock trout around your area? You do your research, and etc. In this episode, we're going to talk about, very likely, the most important factor, the most important topic in this entire series, which is fishing techniques. Listen, folks, and this is the truth. You may have the optimal setup to catch, trout, stock trout around your area. You may go to the spot where you did your research, you know exactly where the fish are at, but if you go there and you just, you're not very good with the techniques for this stock trout, you are still not going to catch fish. So, in this video, I'll try my best to help you out when it comes to that. Now, if you have been watching the series on the channel, surely I hope you have realized that I have been trying to be as general as possible when it comes to the bits of knowledge that I have been putting here on my videos. And there's a reason for that, right? If I taught you guys how to catch trout at the Delaware Canal in Yardley, Pennsylvania, that wouldn't mean a lot of things for you folks, right? I mean, what I may be using over here today for these conditions may not necessarily work around your area. I mean, who knows? I don't know where you guys are located at. You may be fishing for trout in California, right? You may be fishing for trout outside for stock trout, okay? Outside of the country. So in other words, for me to give you guys these little bits of knowledge that will benefit everyone in the long term, I have to make them as universal as possible. And I hope you guys have realized this while you have been watching these videos on the channel. By making these bits of knowledge universal, that means that if you watch this entire series, you should be able to go anywhere around the world and be able to successfully catch a stock trout. If you take all this knowledge to heart and you watch all episodes, you should be able to go to Brazil and fish for stock trout. You should be able to go to Australia and fish for stock trout. Hell, you should be able to go to Japan and fish for stock trout. You see what I'm saying? And in this video, the knowledge, the main tip is going to be no different. It is going to be a universal tip that will help you catch more fish around your area, giving emphasis, of course, to technique. Before we do that, I need to introduce to you guys, once again, the 3 setups that I like to use here on the YouTube platform for stock trout. If you guys follow my videos religiously, you guys know all about it already. This is going to be a little bit lengthy, but this is an educational video. I can't skip this step. So, please bear with me, all right? And try to learn something out of it. There are 3 setups that I really like to use for stock trout. The first one is the Berkeley Power Bait. I got 2 jars here with me, one pink and one yellow. And I would like to emphasize these jars of power bait in my hands are about 1.5 years old. Some people like to say that old, power bait doesn't work. That's a lie. It works just the same. Sometimes the power bait does get very hard, you know, but all you need to do is apply a little bit of water. It is just like as new, right? So the rig that I like to use for my power bait is a very simple rig. One little split shot with the Casking fluorocoat 4-pound test line, and then we just have one hook at the end. I like to use a hook that is size 12 plus. In my past videos here on the channel, I have been using a size 18 hook. And this is what you do, folks. Very simple, right? Open the jar, get a little bit of power bait. Don't overdo it. And get just enough to cover the entire hook. Get any additional pieces out. Like I said, just enough to cover the entire hook. And mind you, this is one of the reasons why I use a size 18 hook. Not only these fish are super finicky, right? When they see something like this, it just looks very, very natural. Sometimes the smallest is good. And as I like to tell people, if you're going to use power bait for catch and release trout, don't do it. Don't do it, right? As you guys know, when you use Berkley power bait, there's a high possibility that the stock trout is going to inhale the hook, and that is not good if you are going to release the fish. So only use Berkley power bait. This is my personal tip for you when you plan to take those fish home to eat. And in all my previous videos, this entire series, I have been taking those fish home to eat, right? So there you go, you got your setup. When this is in the water, right, the split shot goes all the way down, and the Berkley power bait just floats, and then the fish sees the thing floating there. Sometimes there's currents, right? So it moves a little bit, usually goes around, and then inhales it. The second setup that I really like to use is the 164-ounce trout magnet with the trout magnet itself, okay? Nothing much to say about this, right? Just use the lightest jig head that you possibly can and just put on the trout magnet nicely, so that, as you guys can see, when you are here at the end, both legs are dangling on the side, right? There is really no secret to this. I like to attach this to my line without any additional weight, and to ensure that you are able to cast this thing out there. That's why I recommended in episode number 1 for you to get an ultralight setup with 2 to 4 pounds test line, because when you have a setup like that, your castability is just much better when you have this little weight on your line. And then the third thing that I like to use in the video, inline spinners. You guys know my trusted is the Johnson Minnow Spin and the Thomas Lures EP series. Recently I've been using the Thomas Lures EP series, and there's nothing much to say about inline spinners, right? Check this out. This is one of the lures that I have been using since the beginning of this season, and I have fished almost every day for stock trout since the beginning of the season, and I have yet to lose this lure. I mean, this lure has been mangled already, okay? If you look, the treble hook right here, it's missing already a tip of the treble hook because I got it snagged out there. This thing has been on trees, so this kind of became my lucky spinner for the season, and I'm still going to use it. I'm still using it even today here at the Delaware Canal to catch some fish. So now that you guys know about my 3 setups that I like to use for trout, I hope you guys see it, right? And realize that these 3 setups are extremely different from one another. We are talking about an inline spinner, which is a cast and retrieve type of lure. And then we got the trout magnet, which is a jigging type of lure. And then we got the Berkley power bait, which is a steel fishing type of lure. But what if I told you that even though these 3 setups are very different than one another, there's one thing that all 3 of them share in common. And this is actually related to the main tip for fishing techniques for this video. This is the beauty behind all of these. These 3 setups are extremely different, but all of them can be worked at all levels of the water column. And this is the key idea in this video. If you want to catch more stocked trout, you gotta find the fish, not just the spot. Okay, you found the spot, you know there's fish here. You gotta find out where in the water column these fish are hanging or feeding, and then you're gonna entice them to eat. And for that, you need an arsenal of lures. It doesn't need to be the ones that I like. It can be your own personal lures that you enjoy, but you gotta have an arsenal of lures that with it, you are able to hit all the different levels of the water column. So for example, the Berkeley power bait that we went through just now, you can see, you can move this little split shot. And as you move the split shot left or right, you have more or less leader, which in terms, it influences where on the water column your power bait is going to be floating at. Similarly, with the 164-ounce jig with the trout magnet, after you cast the trout magnet out, you can count the seconds. You can count and wait until the jig drops until a certain water level, and then you can start working it, jigging it slowly. Hell, if you wanted to let it sink all the way down, you can do that too, and just jig it along the bottom. And then finally, with the inline spinner, well, your retrieve speed is going to determine where exactly you are working that spinner in the water column. If you're retrieving it extremely fast, it is going to be closer to the surface. If you're retrieving it extremely slow, it is going to be more towards the bottom. So as you guys can see, this is the key idea in this video. I don't care what setups you use around your area. It all depends on where the fish are in the water column, which is why when you fish for this stock trout, doesn't matter if it is rainbow trout, brook trout, tiger trout, brown trout, you gotta know where they are feeding. And for that, you need an arsenal of lures that you can work at different levels of the water column. I'll give you two examples to finish the instructional portion of this video so we can get the fishing started. Sometimes you go to your local bodies of water, I don't know, a pond, a reservoir, a creek, a quarry, a canal like the one today, and you see fish feeding on top of the water. That is a good indication that those trout are staying very close to the surface and just getting whatever passes on top of their heads. Who knows, maybe there's a bug hatch going on around your area, or there's just something floating down, right, that they want to eat. That is a good indication, my man, that you should, or my woman, my woman sounds pretty bad, but that is a good indication that you should run a spinner very close to the surface. That is a good indication that you should throw your trout magnet out there. Don't let it sink too much and just jig it right below the surface. Similarly, you have other places all around where the trout like to feed more towards the bottom. They like to eat scud, crustaceans, you know, freshwater shrimp. So they like to feed around the vegetation, and that is all the way down. That you don't really get to see, but you know, sometimes you throw a little power bait down there, or you throw a trout magnet, let it sink all the way down and jig it along the bottom, and you start to get hits, just like that, right? So this is the key idea in this video. Never stick to just one setup when it comes to trout fishing. When it comes to techniques for stock trout, you gotta work your stuff around all the levels of the water column. And after you have determined that they are at a certain level, that's when you start to lay fish around your area. If they're all the way down, you cast your power bait and you got fish, oh man, that's a good indication there's a school of them around there. If you're casting the spinner, it's like finding the pattern for the day, right? You cast the spinner and you see one of them, zoom, just hit the spinner really hard. It is a good indication that on your local body of water, they're feeding just below the surface. This kind of stuff. So this is universal knowledge that you can apply not only to your local body of waters, not only here, but everywhere around the world. Okay, it took a little while for me to explain these things to you guys. We're already 14 minutes in this video. I knew that this video was going to be long because it is about techniques, it is instructional. There's absolutely no way I can skip steps if I want to educate folks about this stuff, right? So this is what I'm gonna do in this video. I'm gonna show you guys miscellaneous footage from all the other fishing sessions that I did around the area recently, while giving you smaller hints and tips on what I am doing and why I am doing so. This thing about the water column and the levels in the water column is only like the major tip, right? There are smaller things that you also need to take in consideration if you want to catch this fish. So sit down, grab your popcorn. I hope you grabbed it at the beginning of the video because it's already 15 minutes in, and enjoy, and I hope you learned something, all right? lost it. It's all right, next one. Man, that one bit so close. That was a small one, no big deal. Yeah, look at that, another one following. There we go. Come here. Damn, son. Full of power for one day in the creek. Hey, not bad. 4-pound test. Dinner. Oh, hell yeah, boy. Look at that, this is a beauty. All right, sunset's coming. No time for photos, yeah? There's about 4 of them around here. So got a real slow, nice and easy. We lost one, we got one. Had 3 more bites and follows right here. All right, let's see. Oh, got a hit. Is it following? Oh, fish on. Easy fish, easy. We're gonna eat you up tonight, don't worry. Beautiful. It seems that nobody hit this school of trout that is right in front of us. So we got the school all for ourselves on the opening day, which is amazing, you know. All right, there we go. Second one. Fish on. That was a hit, the first one. That's fat, man, that's a fat trout. All right. Come up here. Third one of the day. Not bad. All of them are decent size. Biting the spinner pretty good. Look at that, huh? What is this? What's with the geese here, man? Will you do your business somewhere else, please? What the heck, yo? Why you gotta ruin my spot and then leave? You just spook all the trout, dude. Dude, later people ask me, Leo, why do you hate the birds, man? You see this kind of stuff? This is outrageous, bro, outrageous. Nice little brown, that's what I'm looking for. Nailed it on the go.
I don't want to hold you up, I watch you all the time.
Hey, how's it going? Yes.
Pleasure.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you, I appreciate it. How's it going?
Good. How about you? How are you making out today?
I got 1 brown so far. Yeah, I saw a bunch of rainbows around, but I'm trying to catch the browns.
Oh yeah? I just threw one back.
That's good. Oh, you were on the other side?
Yeah, I was on the corner.
Okay,
but I recognized you, so I wanted to come over and say hi. How much I appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you
for all the love and support.
Thank you.
Yes, have a nice day. I hope you catch a lot.
Good fishing.
It's a rainbow though. Easy, boy. Easy, easy. It's a nice size, though. You want it? No, never mind. Never mind, never mind. I just gonna... There's a bunch of them right around here. Oh, what's up? There's a bunch of them right around here. Yay, fish on, bro. That's why, man, I'm taking it easy on YouTube right now. I just decided to, you know, hit the... Oh, got one. Yeah, there we go. Nice little rainbow right here. Not a brown, not a brown. We're looking for the browns. The little rainbows have been hitting pretty good today. Look at that, that's another beauty right here. Oh yeah. I mean, worst comes to worst, you can always film a video with...
There's a fish. And it came off. That's cool, dude.
That's a good start, dude. That's a good start, you know?
That's cool.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
I'll come back for it. Give him 2 seconds.
Plus, this is only the first spot, you know? You didn't even walk and fish the...
Is that him again? I think that's the same one, dude.
Oh, dude.
Rainbow or brown?
That's a nice rainbow, man.
Nice little rainbow.
Yeah.
Alright, there you guys go. First of the day. What do you think about that, dude?
Dude, that's a nice fish. Nice fish,
fish,
man.
dude,
Good
dude.
start.
I kept getting so many hits.
Oh, there we go. It's a rainbow, man. Why? Why is it not a brown? Come on, dude. Come on, fish. Oh, we got a hit on the power bait, did we? Yeah. Either that or the current. Fish on. Oh, son, that's a nice one. Oh, run under the trunk, run under the trunk. Come over here, dude. Come over here. Yay! Nice one. I don't know about nice one. I thought it was a nice one. It's just a small one. Look at that. So tiny little fella right here. Look at that, eh? Ay, ay, ay. Not really. Fish on. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, son. So you could run away from me? It's a nice, what is that? Is that a nice brown? That's a nice brown. Nice brown right here. On the spinner. EP series. Always working well. Look at that. Nice brown. On the side of the mouth. I didn't even know they stocked the Delaware Canal with brown trout, yeah? But there you go, man. There's a nice fish. I was throwing the power bait down there. They didn't want it very much. I kind of realized, you know what? I think they're waiting for a nice spinner or a trout magnet above, you know, the bottom. Have to be lower, lower. Fish on. I knew it. If they go lower, if you go lower, they will hit it. Another brown. Another beautiful brown trout here. Inhaled the EP series. You guys can see it. As far as you go lower on the inline spinner, this guy was waiting for it down there. Look at that, huh? He ate it, man. He ate it. Good stuff. I'm pretty much done at this spot right here. I got 2 browns and 1 rainbow right over here. I know that the light is probably not very good either, but needless to say, nevertheless, it is not just about the water column, right, where I was hitting. At the beginning I was using power bait and I got a little rainbow trout, and I kind of realized there were a few fish down there who were just like looking at it, but they're not really eating it. And that's when you know there may be some brown trouts down there. Now the brown trouts, they behave a little bit more differently in a sense that they prefer the trout magnet and the inline spinner and bugs and stuff like that. So I started running the inline spinner down there, and guess what? We got 2 brown trout just like that, back to back. And now I think I depleted the trout population in this one spot. So we gotta move to the next spot. That's a nice one too. Dang. Yeah, man. Wow, wow. Whoa. All right, buddy. I know you like the Johnson. I know you like the Johnson. Look at that. It's a Johnson fish right here. Oh yeah. Johnson minnow spin. Can never go wrong with the Johnson. I'm all happy here singing, catching fish. Good day. Now there's a brown somewhere around here. That brown is right around here. Oh yeah, get it, boy. Fish on. Oh, it's not a brown. It's a rainbow. Holy cow. This is the rainbow that I took the legs of my previous trout magnet. I can't believe it. I thought it was a brown for sure. So aggressive, you know. but it turns out to be a little chubby rainbow. Look at that. Wow. All right, man. And this one's feeding well because the belly is pretty big. I mean, there are definitely a bunch of them right around here. It's just a matter of time. Can't believe nobody's fishing here either. All right, this is it. This is it. Last cast with a spinner. If nothing, we're gonna change to the Trout magnet. This Trout magnet is also always a killer. I'm tired, man. Getting all the steps here, but no go. All right, I ain't playing with these fish no more. There are a bunch of fish right in front of us, folks. I missed more than 10 taps on the inline spinner, just catch and retrieve. They were just not committing to it very well. I don't know. They were giving the taps, but no hookups. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put the little Trout magnet on now. And as you guys know, the Trout magnet, you can work it much slower than a spinner. So hopefully, you know, I'm gonna put this right in front of their faces and they're going to bite on it good. I got you covered. Now we gotta see who's gonna be crying in the end, huh? Think you're gonna just waste my time and play with me right here? All right, we shall see. Go, Trout magnet. And we're gonna slay these fish now, hopefully. Dude, these fish think they can just play with me like this. Getting taps all the time here and there. Hopefully they like the Trout magnet. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No! No, why you do this to me? But no, that's all right, man. The Trout magnet is working. The Trout magnet is working. That was the first cast. No problem. Trout magnet's laying fish, man. Damn, that was, oh, there we go. Oh yeah. Don't want to bite on the spinner, yeah, boy? No big deal, brother. No big deal. I gotcha. Yeah, look at that. That's a nice one. That's a nice brown. That's what's going on. Yay. Come up here. Where do you think you're going, huh? Where you didn't want to bite on the spinner, huh? You tapped my spinner more than 7 times, bro. So yeah. Easy, but easy. All right, easy, my man. Dang, son, you jumped really good. I appreciate it. It's a nice sample right here, right on top of the mouth, just like a Trout magnet does. So what do you guys think, huh? Do you think you have learned a lot in this video? Well, I certainly hope so. And I also understand that in this video I haven't really covered all the different types of environments where they stock trout in. I haven't really fished any deep ponds or places with clear, super clear water or quarries and stuff like that. But once again, if you watch the entirety of the series and you take these little bits of knowledge, the universal ones, to your heart, you will catch fish in those type of situations. It is all about, and I would like to emphasize, right? It is all about finding the fish according to the previous video, do your research, and then when you get on the water and you are on the fish, you work your lures at different levels of the water column and then you start to slay them. It is really that simple. For example, this is just to conclude this video. For example, I did trolling at the Round Valley Reservoir with my friend Zach Merchant and my friend Jimmy Lee last year for trout, you know, lake trout. but we were catching a stocked rainbow trout while we were trolling at a super deep reservoir as well. And that shows me something. That shows me, that like Zach knew exactly at what level of the water column those fish were at, right? And he adapted the speed of his motor, of his boat motor, right? He adapted the length of the line that came out of the rod and all the scientific stuff about trolling to catch those fish. But the knowledge is there. As far as you know this kind of stuff, right? Keep trying. If you punch one setup out there in your local body of water and that setup is not working, switch it up, do something. If you're using power bait and you're not getting hits, hell, move that split shot, move that weight and let it float at a different level of the water column. If you're using a certain lure and it is not working, switch to another type of lure and try it out. And if you want to follow EPF's advice that you saw in this video, always tie on a spinner, always, and work the spinner at different levels of the water column. And once you see a fish follow, memorize the speed that you were using, because that's when you know, oh, there's some fish right over there. All right, I hope you guys learned a lot in this video. This is it for today. So I will see you guys next time with the last episode of the series, which is going to be on safe fish handling skills. Because I realize, that even though a lot of people take this fish home to eat, some people, they're all about the catch, photo, release. And when you release this fish, you definitely don't want them to die in the long term, right? So I'm going to talk a little bit about that in the next video. Thank you very much for watching, folks, as always. Tie lines. I'll see you guys next time.